Why, hello there, pen warriors and pen wizards alike. Shams Nelson here from Pen and Blade. And we are back to the low budget, raw Pen and Bladey productions. We're gonna have some fun. I've got a cool idea going back to the roots of some random region generating. Not that that ever stopped, but I got a new way to do this with this hexadecimal map. So I'm gonna grab my D20, and we've got a table here, as you can see. And we're going to create this map by rolling on the table and going across, and you'll see there's some extra rules as well, but we'll get to those when we come to them. Yeah, so let's just get started, and as we do so, we'll do some world building around it. Let's see, what do we got here? A 17 to start with. So this first square we're gonna have is going to be a water tile. And so this brings us to our first rule. Is that if you have a water tile, then the next hex next to it has a 50% chance of also being a water tile. I'm just gonna shade them in like this, but if we end up with like a river, I'll redraw it so it actually looks like a river. But yeah, let's go for the next one. So if I roll a 1 to 10, I'm going to get a second water tile. Otherwise, I will re-roll on this chart. So I got a 6, so we're gonna have another water tile up here. Cool. And I'm going to do that again. We're gonna have to go fast so we can, a 19. So the next one will not be a water tile, and instead will be a 2, which will be a forest tile. So we're gonna pop a forest in there. I can sample it right there. So I'm just gonna kind of go ahead and do this, and while I do, maybe I'll chat and give you guys some updates. I haven't been around very long, so this is a 2, so I'm gonna put that here. I mean, I haven't been around very much. I've been around pretty long. I was looking at how, oh no. All right, we got a lost D20. I can't find it. Oh, it went under the couch. All right, we're just gonna pull out another one. It happens. 15, we've got another water tile. But lately I've been having a lot of fun writing D&D adventure modules, one for a company called Dungeoneer Guild Games that produces first edition Dungeons and Dragons modules, and then, or is it second edition? I think it's second edition. It's kind of confusing, those first two editions, which is which. I didn't do the mechanics because I don't know that edition well enough, so I did the story and, like, you know, they're gonna help me or fill out the stat blocks. So this is a 16, so we're actually not going, we're gonna re-roll that and get a 9, and we'll get a plains here, our first plains. How exciting. I'm not sure if this idea is gonna work, by the way, but hey, we'll see. It'll be interesting. So yeah, so I've been getting more into that, and I think it would be fun to share some of my world building ideas, tips, and techniques and stuff on this channel, and really just kind of like having fun and interacting with y'all, because I think I kind of made this whole YouTube channel thing a bit more than I can chew. So so yeah, we'll see where that leads us to, and in the meantime, I'm just gonna start having fun with you guys. So there's a lot of planes right here. I think this video is gonna take way too long for me to do the whole thing, like showing you guys each step of the way, I'm starting to realize. So I might just actually cut. Oh, our first settlement is gonna be all the way up here in the corner. That's pretty crazy. And then, okay, so when you do a settlement, I'll roll a D20. A 1 will be a tiny, tiny settlement. Maybe it'll be times 10, let's say. So that would be 1 will have 10 people and 20 will have 2,000 people. Let's not give it an exact numbers, but 1 is a tiny, tiny settlement, like a little camp, like a ranger camp, and 20 will be like a enormous kind of multicultural city. So I have rolled a 20. Oh my gracious, my Apple Pencil is low. This is so exciting. Okay, so I think what I might need to do, so basically you get the rules. And I was also thinking, would it be cool to make like a Patreon where I take these mini games I've made and have them be like available for people to, you know, like make a little PDF rule system. I remember I made a game called Dwarf Wars, which maybe I'll have to revisit. I don't actually remember how it went. Okay, I don't love that map marker, but this is just to put things down for now. So this is going to be a 20. So I'm going to put a 20 there so I know that it's a huge city. I kind of don't like that it's up there in the corner, but hey, that is part of how this works. Usually when I create a region, I like to have like mountains, either make it an island or have like a large edge of the region surrounded by mountains, and this is water, so the region feels a bit isolated. But you know, we're trying something new. So I think I'm going to cut here, and then through the magic of editing, you'll see this whole map filled out. Okay, so things are starting to evolve here. I rolled a 1 and realized 1 should be special, and clearly a 1 should be a place on the map that is specifically dangerous. So I think I'll have to make another random gen chart, which we'll roll on at the end. I just got water. And it'll have a selection of potential dangers. So there might be like, you know, a dungeon entrance, of course, could be, but I think that could, a lot of things could have dungeons. So it'll probably be more like an ancient ruins, cursed swamp, you know, what other kind of cool things could there be? Wizard's Tower, you know, evil wizard tower. What else we got? So I'll have to come up with a list of either like, probably like either a D10, 12, or 20, depending on how many things I can come up with. So this poor little town right here, man, they're really dealing with some stuff. So as we start to randomly generate the town names, probably using the RRG and the random region generator, and then generate what that danger spot is, we shall discover what lies in wait. It looks like it could be in the water. So that could also be interesting. I don't think that'll change things. So if I get like a wizard's tower and it's in the water, then it's a mermaid wizard. And that mermaid wizard is going to be a troublesome little gal. All right, shall return. By the way, for these like half tiles over here, I'm just filling them in with whatever like makes the most sense. So since I got a lot of mountains around there, I put mountains. Here, I could put a mountain or a forest. I'll put a forest. Actually, you know what? I actually like the idea that this huge city is nestled within this like enclave. I think I just made up that word. An enclave of mountains. So I'm going to put 2 mountain tiles like that. And then I'll make these plains tiles. So you get the idea. I think the edge ones, you kind of just, that's your chance to make the map like really kind of fit. You could also do all the edge ones as like mountain and ocean tiles to kind of keep the region not self-sustaining, but self-contained. Okay, I'm just gonna say words now and hopefully the meaning is relevant. So yeah, I thought I would mention that. I'm kind of just gonna go like this. Actually, yeah, so that's cool. So this looks like we've got some kind of river system going on. Maybe there'll be a lake here that feeds into a river that goes there. Or the river should come from the mountains this direction. So it is a little weird that the river is splitting here, but maybe we can make it, maybe it can go like this. I don't know. It might, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Interesting. Okay, so the randomness is actually helping us make this decision. So you see we've got all this water, all these water tiles here. And so I'm guessing this and this will also be underwater, meaning they'll be either Triton, merfolk, you know, type kingdoms. They could also potentially be islands, or I could make that like the forest and this is set. But I like the idea, like let's go with that. And so what this will be like a lake, and then there will be a river system, and it comes in like that and like that. See? So, so yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's keep going and see how things evolve. Intriguing. So we've gotten another danger here right next to a settlement, which makes me think that this isn't random at all, but there's some kind of, oh my goodness, and another settlement here. Let's see how big this other settlement is, 14. So 2 large settlements near each other with a danger in between. But it's making me think that these dangers are actually you know, predators like seeking out these settlements, like actually actively attacking the settlements. Maybe this settlement with only 3 people here used to be a much larger city, but whatever is in this location has destroyed many of the creatures. So we'll see if that will happen to these two fellows over here. What? It happened again. This is very intriguing. All right, I'm gonna start brainstorming what this danger could be. But actually first I need to make that random gen chart. All right, y'all, we've got a new rule in our midst. If you have 2 settlements right adjacent to each other, then it counts as 1 ultra settlement. And I think you just add up the values on both settlements. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna have to like go through and play test this a bit. I don't know, this might actually evolve into a game where you like have a little character and he like runs about and explores this region you create. We'll see what happens. But for now, I think having like an Uber settlement is kind of interesting. I really don't know. Actually, let me think about it some more. But while we're here, oh, another, and look, we got one of these. There's another one over here. Oh no. I mean, what are the odds that these guys are showing up right next to here so often, right next to settlements? Maybe the odds aren't that bad, but it does seem unlikely to me, just thinking off the top of my head. Oh my goodness, our last tile, is it gonna be a 1? No, a 16. Oh, but a 16 means, because 1 through 10 means there's water, 11 if you roll a water tile, so there won't be water, so I'm actually gonna re-roll that 16 and get an 18, which gives me another Uber settlement. I'm gonna re-roll the 18 since it's a settlement to see what size the settlement is, another 18, so we're just gonna have a mega settlement over here that's going to be, what's 18 plus 11, 29? With a population of 29, whatever that is. It's very high, it's very high. So we got an 18 here. And then that's it. So let's fill in the rest of these. I want to put a mountain here because I think that we've got like a mountain range going on. Here, let me make that black. I think we've got a mountain range going on here and it kind of like goes off camera and comes back. So I'm gonna do that. Let's say we want, let's say it looks like there's a forest here. So let's put a forest. And you know what, let's actually, I think we're gonna make that mega city in the forest, and so it'll probably be like the elvish, you know, home world. And I think that'll be, we'll have a little lake right there. Let's make these mountains like that. Let's have these guys, I always like cities nestled up against a mountain. I think that's cool for some reason, getting some Helm's Deep vibes and all that. So we're gonna do that. So we've got 2 mega cities. Maybe this city and this city are rivals because they're both size 20. This one's just spread out more, while this one actually goes up the side of the mountain. So it's a very vertical city, while this is an exceptionally horizontal city. So let's get this to be a mountain too. And we're definitely gonna have forest. I think this and that will be forest. This will be forest. Let's do this forest. I don't think we have enough like large forest. And let's get rid of the key so we can see what we've created. Yeah, I think this is going to be a river flowing on screen. Does that look good? Yeah, let's do that. Why not? And then I think, you know, we're going to start adding stuff like there'll probably be a river coming down from the mountain there where this little tiny village is built along. And so now I think I'm going to make a layer underneath this map outline. That's what it looks like without the hexes and zoomed out. So if you kind of squint right now, you can, it's still tough to make out. I don't know if there's enough contrast with the colors. What if I make the blue a lot darker? Whoa. No, I don't like that. We're just gonna leave it. We're gonna kind of work our magic and then see how things play out. So this is gonna be plain, so we're gonna shade underneath the cities now so that we can start to get an idea of the biomes of each of these cities. So I think that these two, like we said, are going to be aquatic. I think this guy will be aquatic, so he'll be the same type of creature as we see in this large lake, but this guy here will be on land. That sounds cool to me. This guy's on land, I believe, on the shore of this lake that we're creating. These guys, I'm trying to think about these. So like one I think additional supplemental type rule is that like these lakes here and here could maybe be connected by a river, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And also a settlement could be actually in the mountains. So I'm actually going to do that with this one because like I said, it's built like on the side of a mountain. So it's from like the foothills on up. That'll be pretty epic. It's interesting that there's a plains region right next to it. You'd think that would all be forest, but could be interesting to think about how that might be a plains. Maybe the forest burned down recently, or oh, you know what? I'm talking about this region. That whole region used to be forest, but it's been logged. You know, like the people in this large city have cut down all the forest there to, you know, use the wood to build stuff for their settlement. So that'll be the story there. Let's continue to fill in the other areas down here. I think this is going to be plains. I think like if I'm not sure, then we go plains. I think that's like the rule of thumb. When in doubt, plains out is an easy way to remember that, because I know it's a very tricky thing to remember and I don't want to add any extra stress to your life. So that's how we'll do it. These guys are going to be forest. So this has got to be in the forest. That's what we said. Elvish forest. This is like a small elvish city. Let's make this all a cool forest in this corner with a lake in there. Ooh, I love that area. It's where I want to live. I think I might let me bring back the hexes because I can decide. I think this is all part of that same mountain range. It feels better to have this mountain range that wraps around the whole side because, like I said, I like to have regions that are isolated so I don't have to think about too much about like what's on the other side of that mountain range and how does that affect these people. Instead, I can think of the relationships of all these different things in this region, and then afterwards I can, you know, say like, okay, there's a pass through the mountain over here, and so there'll be like some trade routes that come in, and there will be some interaction, but it's mostly just to facilitate that trade with outside or more distant kingdoms, and I can leave it a little more vague like that without needing to world build an entire planet. I think we want some forests there, so I'm thinking like, wow, so there's like these 3 mega settlements, and then this one's also quite large. Well, this one right here is also quite large. So these 2 at the bottom I think will be Elvish, and the top one could be Dwarvish, and then the 19 there, this could be the human region in the center. That would make the most sense in a classical fantasy way. So the southern area is mostly inhabited by elves. I mean, I could also use the RRG to mix it up a little more, but yeah, we'll see. I think I'm gonna have to stop the video, do a little work, do a little brainstorming to see what the next phase in this world building process might look like. Okay, I added a new rule to this improvised map creation process. So when you have these kind of random lakes, you can connect them via river systems. So here you see this river that I've created. That'll be a cool river in our world. Also, we added a river down here, which I think rivers coming from mountains to bodies of water make a lot of sense. So there probably would be, let me put the hex map. I like to follow the hexes, just kind of basically to make the rivers, but I don't think it's a hard and fast rule. So I'm going to have this go up like that. And we'll make them look more organic later, but right now I'm kind of keeping it like this. And then I'm going to draw the map, redraw the map over this, using this as a guideline. Obviously we have a river coming down here, so I'm guessing there's going to be different like tributaries that are coming to the river like that. And then the river gets thicker at this point over here, like below that line that I just made. I'm thinking there would also be a river coming down like that, connecting to that river, a tributary to this main river we have in the center there. And I think that will do for the river systems for now. Let's see what that looks like without our hex map, or we can just lighten it up quite a lot so we can get a good idea of what is going on. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to redraw over this to really get a solid sense. But just kind of looking at it, let's see what we got here. We've got a big danger zone over here, a lot of human settlements that are fighting some kind of large-scale war against whatever these creatures are. And so I think when I roll for, what's dwelling here, I'll roll once for the type of creature, and this will be like a civilization of whatever I roll there. These two also seem interconnected, so I think a general rule is if the dangers are in the same biome within 1 square of each other, so they're adjacent to each other, or just 1 square separate, then you make them the same thing, so that the map feels a little more coherent and there are like larger stories to tell rather than a lot of little disconnected enemies and regions and things going on, which would get a little overwhelming and a little confusing. So again, maybe this guy and this guy, since they're in the same region, they're far enough away that I think it'll be interesting to have 2 different things in the forest there. So I probably will roll those separately. All right, at this point, I think I'm going to need to take a longer hiatus and reappear in moments via the magic of editing, but actually give this some thought of what I want to do with this, because this has been really fun and this is really interesting, but I think I'm going to either need some more random gen tables. I realize that sometimes I call them charts, but they're tables. What is a chart exactly? It's like a pie chart. Yeah, that's like for statistics. I definitely mean tables. And see what kind of game we can make of this. And if you want to play, if this becomes like a game where, like a like a board game or tabletop role-playing game type vibe, then pop into the Discord if you want to play with me, and maybe we'll live stream it and see what we can invent together. Okay, much has transpired since last I clicked record. But as Cosmos Cauldron, aka Caden Sheeler, aka Chaotic Good, told me to just chill out and not try to be perfect and just share in progress work and not make social media like a place where we try to be like, oh man, I'm so cool. So anyways, point being here, I'm gonna show you what I did, and then you can let me know in the comments where maybe perhaps I can take it from here. So this is where we left off, right? Then using some rulings, created this map, and it has a key as well. Oops, where is that? Up here, we've got a human kingdom, Haldera. Dorum is the dwarf kingdom to the north, and Gillion, the elvish kingdom, to the south. And then I took it a step further and started this like, there's some mechanics behind this. You see the humans here are getting creamed pretty badly, but yeah, I started working out some mechanics, and it is kind of interesting. It reminds me of Battle Kingdoms, if you guys were around for the Battle Kingdoms era. If not, you can look up the videos on this channel, and that was a good time. So if you want me to kind of try to develop some rules, if this looks like a fun game to play where you create your own map and then, you know, have battles you could play against yourself, but it would probably be more fun to play against other people, that's something I could do. If you'd like me to do some world building, I know I've still got to make the roll chart, the roll table for these baddies. Then I could do that, and we can roll that up in a future video, as well as the names of the cities, and maybe I can come up with like a methodology mini game for world building, for taking a map like this and pushing it to the next level. But I actually really like how this turned out. This was a really cool way to create a map. So like, let's say I just take off all of this extra stuff, and even that, like, we've got a map that that looks like that, and it's kind of got a pretty cool naturalistic feel, honestly. You know, the what is it called, RNG? No, random, you know, the random factor of it made it very interesting, and, you know, created a map that I wouldn't have created before. So I think that's it for now, and peace, God bless, and stay fantastic, everyone.